Hello guys, welcome back to another English class. Today I'm going to explain you the activities from your book for Unit 2. In this case, we're going to check long time no see, objectives, express ideas from something that occurred or didn't occur before another action in the past. Now, in this lesson, we're going to check the past perfect simple. Now, we have in this case exercise 2.1 that it says read the following text and we're going to complete the text, and then after that we're going to check exercise 2.2. Okay, now it says last week I had one of the most memorable days of my life. After 5 years I could finally see my fraternity friends. We had tried to meet several times, but some reason or another we just couldn't agree on a date. Angela, my ex-girlfriend, hadn't been living in the country, but she really wanted to see us. She sent Clarice a message and told her she was going to be back on April. So Albert and I decided to set a date, and we had 3 months to organize our schedules and give us the chance to meet again. I had been in touch with some of them, so it wasn't difficult to tell them about to get together. John, Thomas, and I started to plan where we are going to meet. We had been thinking for more than a week, and finally, Tanya called me and proposed to have the reunion in her new apartment. The idea was great. And I started sending emails to everyone. April the 10th was the day, a beautiful Sunday, with my old folks. Nothing could go wrong. In that moment, we just had one problem. What would we eat? So I thought we hadn't ordered Chinese food since college, and back then we all ended hating it. So it was perfect to order the food and remember old times eating at night studying for an exam. I asked some of them about the food and they agreed. And did I have everything ready for the reunion? Maybe not, but we know each other. So improvising is our best quality. So if I had missed something, we would finally get it at the moment. Okay, now we have the text, and on top we have the sentences. It says exercise 2.2. Read text again and mark the sentences if they are true or false. The first one, it says they had seen each other a year ago. False. Number 2, they organized everything for the party. False. Angela hadn't lived in the city recently. Okay, true. They had eaten Chinese food in college. True. And he hadn't had a good day after college. False. Okay, this is exercise 2.2. And don't forget that we are checking the past perfect in negative form. For example, I hadn't traveled out of Mexico until I got my passport. USA hadn't had an Afro-American president before Obama. We hadn't slept well before the exam. That's why we failed. She had never seen a bear before she moved to Canada. Pete couldn't get a hotel room because he hadn't booked in advance. Okay, and we're going to continue with the next page. Now, on exercise 2.4, it says unscramble the following sentences. The idea is we have to try to move the words in order and write the right sentences in past perfect. For example, we have a Facebook account. I never had had. The right sentence has to be I had never had a Facebook account. Number 2, Iguana hadn't eaten in any restaurant. The right answer has to be I hadn't eaten iguana in any restaurant. Number 3, because her hadn't visited, he was short of cash. the right answer has to be he hadn't visited her because he was short of cash. Now, for unknown people, we on Facebook hadn't added. We hadn't added unknown people on Facebook. And the last one, 5. By such being beautiful eyes hypnotized, I hadn't. In this case, I hadn't been hypnotized by such beautiful eyes. And you have to complete the last one by yourself, number 6. Okay, now the last exercise on your student's book, we have exercise 2.8. This activity is an open activity. So the idea is you have to try to write the options according to you, according with your context. For example, the first one, have you ever eaten exotic food? And what have you eaten? In this case, is it yes? Yes, I have, or not? No, I haven't. For example, I have eaten some insects. Number 2, what's the strangest thing you have drunk? In this case, maybe I have drunk pulque. Number 3, where can you find exotic food in Mexico? In markets, some flea markets, etc. 4, did you know people used to eat snails? If you know it, yes I did, or no, no I didn't. And the last one, what other exotic food you know? Maybe camel meat, crocodile meat, etc. etc. Okay, this is about the student's book. Now, in your workbook, we have exercise 2.1. Write the correct form of the verb in past perfect using the negative form. In this case, we have the verbs in brackets, and the idea is we have to use the past perfect in negative form. For example, in the cinema, I met a friend who I hadn't seen for ages. In this case, we have not, hadn't, and see in past participle, seen. I hadn't seen for ages. Number 2, that man could walk right into your house because you hadn't locked the door. Hadn't, negative, and locked, the past participle. Number 3, they lost the game because they hadn't practiced the week before. Not, hadn't, and practiced in past participle, practiced. Number 4, in math class, John quickly copied me the homework that he hadn't done. Not, hadn't, and do, past participle, done. Now, number 5, we ate at the place last night because I hadn't cooked anything for dinner. In this case, not, hadn't, and cooked in past participle. Number 6, when we returned, it was very cold inside and the house because Samuel hadn't closed the windows. Hadn't, negative idea, and closed, the past participle. And the last one, 7, Mary Jane was angry with you because you hadn't, the verb greet in past participle, greeted, because you hadn't greeted her first. Okay, and you have to complete exercise 8, 9, and 10 by yourself. Okay, now the next exercise 2.2, it says look at the pictures, match each sentence with the correct picture. Now in this case we have different situations, and next to we have the possible ideas. Now in this case we have number 1, William hadn't been in an accident until he ran the red light. In this case, picture C. The pigeon flew away because Jim hadn't closed the window. B. And when I came home, Robert hadn't finished the painting wall yet. D. And you have to complete number 4 and 5 by yourself. You have to read the sentence and check what is the correct picture. Okay? And the last exercise, we have exercise 2.4. Read the following sentences, and if they are correct or incorrect. If they are incorrect, you have to correct them on the line. Now, you have to check if the sentence is okay. If your sentence is okay, you just have to mark the word correct. But it is not okay, you have to mark incorrect and mark and write, underline the right version. For example, I has not eaten at restaurant before today. In this case, it's wrong. I hadn't eaten at a restaurant before today. Number 2, Samantha hadn't had time to explain her side of the story. In this case, number 2, it's correct. Now, number 3, my friends hadn't went to France. In this case, it's incorrect because went it's in past simple and you have to use the verb in past participle. My friends hadn't gone to France. Now, number 4, my friends had never gone to USA either. In this case, it's correct, it's perfect. Number 5, John had go out when I arrived to the office. Okay, go out, it's present simple, so it's wrong, it's incorrect. John had gone out when I arrived to the office. And the last one, 6, I have saved my document before the computer crashed. In this case, you have the sentence and it's correct. Okay, and you have to complete 7, 8, 9, and 10 by yourself. You have to check if they are incorrect or correct, and that's all. And that's everything for your book. Thank you.